Each week we get to know the business leaders behind the world's largest companies. CNN's financial editor Todd Benjamin goes one-on-one with Jochen Zeitz, CEO of Puma.
Trendsetting is Puma's raison d'etre. Its focus on sports and fashion has made it one of the world's most desirable brands. But that hasn't always been the case. When chief executive and chairman Jochen Zeitz took over in 1993, the company was in financial crisis. He turned it around. Zeitz's move into business was perhaps a surprising one, given his family's 400-year-old tradition of studying medicine. I caught up with him at his German headquarters.
When you took over Puma, it was bankrupt on paper. It had several years of losses. And in your words, it was run by people who thought Germany was the center of the universe and that everything could be exported to the world. No one thought about the consumer.
That's how it was, yes. It was very Germanic, as we would say back then. Well, we changed that very quickly. We just took out management layers, we took out roadblocks and restructured the company from top to bottom.
But this was Germany.
Well, but I didn't look at it that way. I just said that our focus has to be from the outside in rather than from the inside out. And I never felt that although we were based in Germany, Puma was and should be considered as a German brand. And so we restructured it in a way that positioned us as a global brand with English being the corporate language rather than us looking at it from a German perspective.
The most important thing was to stabilize the company financially because it was bankrupt on paper. Once you got the company stable, then what became important?
So we decided that sport, lifestyle and fashion were three elements that could be mixed together to a very unique formula. And that's what we did, make Puma a sports fashion brand. When at the times everybody talked about sport and sport performance and functionality, we said, well, it's about more.
How do you encourage your staff to be as creative as possible?
Well, we allow people to be creative. We set a direction, we set the vision, we set the strategy, but within that framework we allow our people to be as creative as they want to be. And there's not an idea that can be crazy enough. We just allow that. Of course, we always benchmark it and check if we think it's in line with what Puma as a brand wants to stand for. But nurturing creativity, creating creative freedom is important to us.
What advice would you have for anyone who wants to try to rise to the top?
Follow your instincts, follow what you think is right, and then implement as quickly as you can, because if you drag things out, that can be very difficult.
Jochen, clearly you're a very driven man. Where does that drive come from?
I'm a curious person and I always like to test new waters, and I've always jumped into the cold water and then started to think about how to swim, and I never did it the traditional German way where you would say, well, let's elaborate on that and let's analyze the situation all the way through before you make a decision. You know, if I felt that my chances to succeed were above 50%, I went for it.